Hey guys, welcome back to Container Crops, the Scaredy Cat Gardener. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm outside in my garden today and it's an absolutely amazing day here in Zone 7B. And I'm out here doing a few things for the fall, doing my September, get ready for the fall thing. And I thought, you know what, let me share some of these things with you guys.
Show off your fantasy reality, whoa, that's yours, but I'll keep doing mine. You'll be living your good life, catch a glimpse from the outside all the time.
Okay guys, we are back, and before we get started, if you are new to the channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Take a second and subscribe to the channel. Turn on that notification bell so you won't miss anything. If you are returning to the channel, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate your support. And for all my channel members, thank you so much for your loyal, faithful support. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Don't forget to go over to Facebook. My Facebook group is Container Crops. It's actually for you guys, not for me. Sign up over there. Post your videos so everyone can see them. Post your pics. If you have questions, ask them over there. If I can't answer them, I've got some experts over there that surely can. Also, you can always find me on IG at the Scaredy Cat Gardener. Okay, I think that's going to do it for our yard work for today. So let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so one thing that you can do, it's fall and there's always beautiful colors in the fall. Leaves are falling and changing colors and things of that nature. But you can add some of that beauty to your garden too by planting some annual flowers, zinnias and begonias, especially if you're in a frost-free area. However, it's been extremely hot in so many places that a lot of us still have quite a bit of heat or days before frost comes. Now, we didn't anticipate all the heat that we had this year. We didn't anticipate all the rain. So we don't know if our frost dates are going to align with what we read in the beginning, or they're going to be pushed back too. Are they going to even happen? So I'm planting some annuals in my garden just in case, they're beautiful. If you do, remember to water them at least once a week in the beginning. They are absolutely beautiful, and you can also add some ornamental grasses to them. It'll just be a gorgeous garden. And before we go on to the next thing, I realize I actually said make sure you water them once a week. No, make sure you water them every day for the first week or two. That's what I meant to say. Now, another tip for you, you can add instant color to your garden with things like pansies and mums. And we've had such crazy weather right now. What I like to do in the fall, and I actually do this in the spring as well, I try to drive around my neighborhoods, my area neighborhoods, larger apartment complexes, larger subdivisions that have bigger homes in them. And I look at their timing and I look at their landscaping. And I kind of try to mimic that, because you drive by some of them, they have all these beautiful flowers. They also will give you an idea of how to arrange them color-wise so that you can get that pop of color in your garden as well. Okay, and now is the time to improve your soil. Put a 2 or 3 layer inch of compost over your soil. Make sure you're turning it over. This is going to help prepare your soil for next year. Now, something that you can do if you have chicken or horses, you don't have to compost. You can use fresh manure and just put it over your beds, because the snow, the rain, and the winter months will break that down, and it'll reduce the nitrogen that's in them, in that manure, and it won't burn your crops for next year. So if you have chickens, that's a good thing to do with your fresh manure. If you have horses, that's a good thing to do with your fresh manure. Another thing that I am also doing right now is plant your spring bulbs, things like hyacinthus, tulips, daffodils, things like that. Go ahead and get those bulbs in the ground now, or in your containers now, like I'm doing. And that way when spring comes, they'll be ready to pop up. And things like mostly tulips, they will come back year after year. So that's a good thing. But get those bulbs, now's the time to get those bulbs planted. Also too, so that you can have a pop of curls, a pop of color from early spring to maybe early summer. What you want to do is try to pick different ones that will bloom at different times. Although you're planting them all now, maybe you'll have a purple tulip that plants now, or you can use the whole month of September and plant them weekly, and then they will of course bloom weekly like that too. But you'll have a longer succession if you choose ones that actually bloom at different times. Maybe something will bloom early spring, something will bloom mid-spring, and that way you can keep your garden looking beautiful from spring to early summer. And if you are not having a fall garden, or maybe your fall garden may not have as much or be in abundance as maybe your summer garden or your spring garden, clean up your garden, guys. It is so easy to walk away after things are dead, gone, it's over. It's like, you know what, I'll get to it, or I'll clean it up in the spring. Clean it up now. You don't want to leave it until spring comes. You want to do it now. Make sure you throw away any dead plants and vegetables. Get them out of your garden so that when you amend your soil and it sits over the winter, you don't have to worry about that. So do those things now. And when you remove things like your trellis, maybe if you're taking a trellis down, your tomato cages, things like that, clean them off before you put them up. I actually use a little mild soap and water on my tomato cages when I take them down, and then I wipe them down with a little alcohol when I'm done washing them before I put them away, because all it takes is one little egg from one little pest to survive and thrive through the winter to come into your garden the next year. So clean those off before you put them away. Now, when I bring them back out in the springtime, I wash them again. I usually don't use soap at that time, but I will give them a good rinsing off, and I'll use maybe some peroxide on them or something like that, because I want to make sure they're in my garage. They might be in a shed. Some pests could still get on them out there. So I want to make sure that when I put them in my garden, that they're ready for the spring. Okay, bringing the plants that we need to have a little bit more heat, or that won't survive in the cold indoors. For some of us, it's still hot, really hot, so it's not quite time to do it, although September would normally be the month to do it, and that's why I'm addressing it now, because the weather is different everywhere. So if you're getting the cooler temps already, then it may be time for you to go ahead and think about that. But in bringing them indoors, what you might want to take into consideration and do is to take your pot and put it in a larger bucket of water and let it soak in the water for a few hours. What you're doing is drowning any pests that are in there, and it's going to bring out any slugs that may be clinging to a little underside rim of your pot that you didn't see. You don't want to bring these inside, especially if you're bringing them into your home. So you want to drown those out and everything. Now, once you do this, you don't have to worry about watering your plant for a minute, because it will have enough water. But that's a good way to ensure that you don't bring any pests from outside into your house. Now, something fun that you can do is to create a terrarium inside this winter. Any glass container can do that. You can get a fish tank, an old fish tank, go to your Goodwill or something, find a big glass, something, and anything can be. If you have children or grandchildren, nieces, nephews, just yourself, it's a wonderful way to grow, and it teaches a lot about plants and soil and brings out that little scientist that's in all of us that are gardening. So that's something fun that you can do that I think is just fun, especially if you have kids around. Okay, guys, that's going to do it for today. I need to get back to my garden and go ahead and finish some cleanup that I'm doing in my garden. But thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with me today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I also have channel memberships. I have multiple tiers now with some amazing perks. I'll put that link at the end of this video as well as up above. So check that out, and I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to hit the like button. Come on now, I need the likes. Hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And until then, remember, anywhere you can sit a pot, you can grow a plant. And I'll see you on the trail.